in there, I should get quite a dynamic range. Good morning, and it's been a bit of a rush this morning. I decided late last night that I was going to come to a place I've been before, Bow Fiddle Rock, but this time I want to get the sunrise. So I set my alarm for 5:30, and now realise I probably should have set it for 5 o'clock in the morning, because the light in the sky to the east has been absolutely fantastic. The few clouds that are there have been glorious pink, and they have now only just decided that they don't want to be pink anymore. The sun is due to come up in about 4 minutes time, and I'm about 3 minutes from the location I want to be to get Bow Fiddle Rock with the sun directly behind. Now, it's not the normal view, which is going to be looking from the beach down there through that archway. I'm actually going to go over to the left, up onto a bit of a mound, which I'm not sure if I can get to try and get the sun directly behind me. This is all a bit of a experiment, because I haven't been to this part before. I've been down on the beach, but I've not been up here, and I've no idea if I can get up on this mound over here at all. Anyway, let me put the camera away and concentrate on what I'm doing. Well, I definitely should have been here a bit earlier. The sun's already up, and I initially went to the wrong viewpoint, which I was trying to get on top of here, which is impossible. Well, that's Bow Fiddle Rock just there, and you can just see the gap in the rocks there. And I've switched to the phone because the GoPro has failed to start up again, and I have to strip it all down to get it to start, and I don't want to spend that time doing that. But there's the view, and I'm going to start taking pictures. So this is the last trip I'm ever going to do with a GoPro. They are far, far too unreliable. I took a little bit of video, switched off recording, and it froze up. And I've had that several times now, and I've been stripping the camera down because it's in its media mod, and it just takes too much time. It is wasting my artistic time when I could be taking nice pictures, and I'm desperately overexposed on that. There we go. What I'll do is I'll just do a wee bracket for exposure. So bracket. So this bracket today is not for focus. I'm just going to set the focus about f11. Exposure is correct there just now. Put it onto high speed. I don't need to be on high speed. Just take one after the other. For some reason it's like, oh yeah, focus is off. Try and get my focus right. Just go for the nearest rock. And as somebody pointed out to me, I should just manual focus. I always have problems with manual focus, but it kind of looks okay. So just do that, lock it off. Exposure to there, 1, 2, 3, and that should give me 3 different images. I'm getting quite a bit of flare on the lens, so I don't really want to be firing straight into the sun. Come off to the side slightly, go a bit wider, get that view down there. I've got no filters on, no need, not with this camera, not really. I'm getting detail in there that I can bring up, and the sun's not too burned out. Yeah, I can get something with that. I'll just adjust the position slightly. And I'll clean the lens. I cleaned it last night when I was using it there, but just to be sure, stop any flare coming through. And sorry if there's any wind noise, the wee fluffy thing's fallen off yet again. If we go too far this way, you can't see any hole in the rock at all. At this viewpoint here, the ground is very uneven and there's a sheer cliff just there, so I don't really want to be walking about too much in case I stumble. And I just tripped in a rabbit hole, which is not good. Right, I'm straight into the sun again, and it's desperately overexposing. So what I'm going to do is actually underexpose it a little bit to start off with and see what I get from there. Very nice sky, very much silhouetted. I'm actually wondering whether to put the wide angle on and just get this whole scene, because I can't really get it with this lens. Oh no, it's not bad. Actually, that's not too bad. We shall try that. Let's see what we get. So this is an underexposed version. Take the exposure back up. 3 again. So you get a bit more detail. I'm going to take it even further down. So in there, I should get quite a dynamic range. Right, that's a scene. I'm going to get a specific item now. I'm going to get the big lens. Let's not fall into a hole this time. Right then. Because the three-legged thing shoe is problematic getting it on and off the camera because it doesn't have a finger tightener and I don't have a coin, I'm not going to change the foot for this lens. So what I've got is a nice rock lighting up over here in that direction. I'm just going to move the mic to that side in case you can't hear what I'm saying. There we go. So there's a nice rock down here, just starting to catch the light. I'm not sure if it's going to make an image or not, but the reason I'm looking at it is absolutely full of cormorants. So switch back on, focus on the rock, good exposure. It's F11 at 25th of a second, which is too slow. So because I'm shooting at something quite small, I'm going to take it down to F4. That gets my speed up to 250th, 200 a second. Picture of the rock with lots of cormorants on it. That's what I'm having a look at just now. The sun's just catching it. Just taking a few images. I don't think I can get much closer. Oh, I can. Ooh, let's see if we can pick out any individuals on top of a hill, top of a rock. Let's get it. So you probably see behind me that the lower rocks are now catching the sun because I'm actually quite high up. So you can see the sun's not quite at the bottom there yet, and maybe getting shadow from the bigger rocks. And I feel the Kilt Rock itself, on this side is in complete shadow, so I'm going to go down to the beach and see if I can get glimmers of light on it. Before we go down to the beach, I've decided to have a go at this little scene here, and I'm doing 2 exposures because of the bright sky and the shadow of the rock and the brightness of the sun on the cliff face. Hey Jiggy, how you doing? You're a good boy. Let's go down. You coming down, Puppet? Yeah. Well, I stopped before the beach, and the reason being is there's not a lot of light on the rock just now, and Duke didn't want to go down towards the beach. He's decided to lie over here on the ground with my tripod for this camera here. Hey Puddles, hey Duke. So I came back up and realised I could get another view here, because I was looking at it through my phone, which was underexposing like mad, and what that meant was I was still getting nice colour in the sky. So I came up, set the camera up, looking down through this gap at Bow Fiddle Rock, underexposed, and exposed it for closer to the proper exposure to try and get some detail, and I'll merge that later. And as I'm doing this, as you can probably see by the top of my napper, the sun is just coming over the top of there. So I've decided, let's see if we can set this up with this view here, which is basically that view there, with the sun just coming over the top. But obviously the camera's a bit further down, so the sun's a bit lower, gives it a bit more time to set it up. And I'm going to put you on the ground because Dukey Boy's got the tripod. Oh. And anyway, you don't really want to be watching me all the time taking pictures, do you? You want to just see the results usually. But what I'm going to do just now is I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, as in a big bit, right into the rock. And the reason being is there's a fishing boat just behind, and I might be able to capture that. So I'm manually bracketing, correct exposure, underexposure by just over 1, but 1.5 stops, and then about 2 stops to get the colour in the sky. There's a nice yellowness still in the sky there, which I'm hoping is just natural and not pollution. But yeah, I might have a little fishing boat in there, but it's minuscule, so it's not really the best. So I'll swing the camera back round to the image that I wanted. The sun is now just starting to come over the top. So what I've got is I've got the rock. I don't want too much sky. The sky is very boring. So I've got the rock. I'm going to just show you on here what I'm doing. If I just push that to video, switch that on. So if I had that in the centre, there'd be way too much sky, or there's some interest in the sky. I want to bring it down. So I've got this rock here, then Bow Fiddle, and then the sun coming up over here. So let's just see where the sun is. It's about there. I might just be wide enough. And I'll try and get my horizontal right. Tighten that up. That is roughly what I'm looking for. And again, I've managed to come away. I've left a water bottle in the car, and I'm parched. It's not hot this time. It's just I'm parched. So here we go. Let's take the first very underexposed image. I'm actually going to underexpose it even more because the sun's now coming up. So yeah, I've got that. Go a bit more detail. And then almost to the exposure it should be. And there's a lot of detail in the ground there. And I'm just going to bring the ground right in case I want to bring some of that detail into the image. And that horizon's still slightly out, but I'll be cropping it anyway. So that's another image I've done. Duke doesn't look too happy to go down onto that beach. He's got a bit of a problem with his paw. So in between the pads, a bit red raw. And he knows where he is. It's nearly 2 years since we were here. I think he knows exactly where he is. He didn't like that beach before, and he's kind of refusing to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up on the headland, which is up here where the sun is, looking down onto what's hopefully a lit Bow Fiddle Rock. So I'm now above the rock looking down. It's not exactly to the side of it, but I'm further round and it's looking a lot nicer. But if you saw my video when I was here before, I've got pretty much the same problem, and it's pretty much a boring sky. There's some cloud there I might be able to make use of, but it's nothing interesting. And the tide is right out. I did actually check the tide times, but I didn't expect it to be quite so far out. You could actually walk out to Bow Fiddle Rock today. You really could. So if I went down to the beach, there would just be lots of rock in front of me leading up to the Bow Fiddle itself. So it won't be quite as interesting. So I'm going to stay here. And I'm not going to blether too much either. I'm going to take some pictures and show you what I come up with, because I'm not really prepared again. I think I've got a spare one, but the SD card is showing that it's nearly full. Although when I do a replay on it, all I can see is what I've done today, so I don't really understand. So I'll probably change out the SD card soon and come back to you. If I don't have an SD card, it's going to be a short video. But yes, this is looking rather nice. So that's me back in the car. I've taken my pictures at Bow Fiddle Rock. They weren't exactly what I wanted. I tried to get there to get the sun coming up directly behind Bow Fiddle Rock. The photographer's ephemeris app showed that it was possible, but once I got here, it wasn't really happening. And I should have got here much earlier. I should have got here at least half an hour before sunset was due, or sunrise was due, because the best of the colour is, and I always forget this, the best of the colour is before the sun comes up and a little after the sun goes down. So lessons learned. And how many times have you seen me getting up for sunrise? Not many at all. I think this is probably the only one, because I'm not very good at getting up in the morning. That was a 5:30 alarm call because it's now mid-September, so it wasn't quite as early as it could have been. Through the summer, I'm not getting up at that time. No way, sun comes up about 4. So as the winter comes on, I might try and get some more sunrises if I'm in the right place and the weather's going to be fine. I cannot guarantee anything. I'm not very good at getting up in the morning. But I hope you enjoyed the few pictures I did. The video wasn't the best because I was having technical issues yet again. And I'm going to say, and I think I said it earlier, I'm giving up with the GoPro. I'm going to find some other means of recording. I'm using the phone just now because the GoPro is absolutely useless for me. Unless you're going to sit and change settings all the time, it's no good. It dies on me, it freezes on me, which has nothing to do with settings. Panning was useless because it had the shake function on. So you've got to learn to take that off and then try and stop it shaking some other means, maybe with a gimbal. So no, I'm not happy with it. So I'm going to be dipping into my pockets and finding something else. I've had one suggestion for the little DJI Pocket 2. Maybe get a little Sony camera, but I need a gimbal for it, I think. I want something nice and light. I think the DJI is going to be the way to go. Anyway, tummy's rumbling. I need some breakfast. Let's go and find a Greg's or something and get a coffee and something to eat, and then find something else to photograph. Okay, that's me for now. That's me for this vlog. I shall see you again soon. Remember, get out, take photographs, and have fun first thing in the morning. Bye for now.